In this video, I'm going to share with you why a 15-year mortgage is actually not in your best interests financially. If you want to make the best financial decision possible regarding your mortgage, whether you should have a 30-year or a 15-year, in this video, I'm going to prove to you why someone who can afford a 15-year mortgage payment should still get a 30-year mortgage payment. There's a lot of smoke and mirrors about 15-year mortgages. If the banks are promoting something, you should take a second look, because what they're promoting is going to be in their best interests, not yours. Let's take a deep dive. Welcome to the channel. My name is Paris Clough and this is Financial Self-Reliance. I absolutely love helping people manage, protect, and grow their money. And in this video, I'm going to share with you exactly how to do that. Now, you've probably had a lot of commercials telling you that a 15-year mortgage will save you X number of dollars of interest. That's why you should get it. That you're going to save tons and tens of thousands of dollars potentially in interest. And while that's true, there's an actual opportunity cost that you're paying that might be worth looking at. So let's take a look and see. Right now on bankrate.com, we'll see that a 30-year fixed mortgage is national average of 4.88%, where a 15-year fixed mortgage is an average of 4.08%. So right there, you might say, well, Paris, that sounds better. It's a lower percent. I'll save more money because I'm having a lower percentage. Let's keep looking. So over here, if you have a $330,000 home that you purchase and or have, when you do a refinance, usually you only refinance 80% of the value so that you can keep that 20% equity to avoid paying PMI or primary mortgage insurance. So in this particular situation, you'd have a $66,000 down payment, or technically what we're looking at is a 80% loan to value on a $330,000 home. So 30-year length of loan, 4.88 was from the national average on that other page. That means that you're going to pay total payment's going to be $1,680, but $1,680 includes your interest and your taxes and any fees that you might have. So the reality here in this particular situation is once you pay your house off, you're still going to have to pay insurance and taxes and things like that. So those payments are kind of indefinite. What I'm going to share with you in this page are the things that once you pay your house off, what you don't have to pay anymore and why. And so we're going to do an apples to apples comparison just on what is called the principal and interest payment. That's this right here. And that in this case would be $1,397 on a 30-year mortgage at 4.88, the national average. $1,397 would be your principal and interest payment. Now let's take a look and see what the 15-year mortgage would be. And remember, the 15-year mortgage was 4.08. So on a 15-year mortgage at 4.08 interest rate, the payment would go up to $2,246, and the principal and interest only of the portion of that is $1,963. So $1,963. So let me bring up my calculator and let's see what the difference is. So we had 1963 minus 1397 equals $566. So $566. What could you do with that money? Well, in this particular situation, the bank is telling you to use that money towards a 15-year payment so that you're done and you've got your home paid for in just 15 years. Well, what are the opportunity costs of that? What are the costs of that? What is the interest that you're really saving? And what are the opportunity costs of using that $566 to pay down your principal? Let's take a look. I've got a calculator that I've created here that will help us along with this. So if you have a $264,000 loan balance, which would be the 330 minus the 66 or the 20% equity in your home, and you were to have a 30-year mortgage, which is 360 months, and you were paying 4.88 interest rate, your monthly payment is that $1,397 we talked about. You're going to have a total interest paid of $239,247.97. That's almost double the amount of money that you borrowed, by the way. So you can see that you borrowed $264, you pay $239, and the total is both of those added up. Well, what would be the difference if you took that 15-year loan? So 4.08 is the interest rate. A 15-year loan is 180 months. So let's look at 180 months and see what that does. And so now we're looking at that 1963 payment, and the total interest paid is only $89,000. So there you have it, everybody. That's the answer. You're going to save $149,000 plus in interest by getting a 15-year mortgage. But is that the end of the story? Let's take a look and see. So let's go to my return on investment calculator to see what's the best way to use that $566. The difference between the 30-year mortgage and the 15-year mortgage payment. So if you were to take a 30-year mortgage and then take the $566 difference and invest it in the market at 8% over that same 15-year period, you would have a total of $174,188 after 15 years. Well, let's take a look and see what would be your balance be on a 30-year mortgage after 15 years. So let's take a look at that 30-year mortgage again and take a look see where that takes us and where that puts us when we have $174,000. So let's take a look as I scroll down here right about here, the 187th month. So in the 187th month, we have $174,000 back here on the calculator. We have $174,188. So 187 months, which is 7 months longer than a traditional 15-year flat fixed mortgage. So it's 7 months longer, but you can literally pay off your mortgage with one check in 15 years and 7 months. But all the while, you have access to that cash in cases of an emergency. In my opinion, and this will always be my opinion, cash is king, not equity. Well, you might say, Paris, but if I pay off my house, then I'll have all that money that I can dump into the market and I can have even more money. So let's take a look and compare that and see what happens. Let's go back to my investment calculator. And just for comparison's sake, let's take a look and see. If I were to keep that $566 a month into that investment for the full 30 years, now we got to take a look and see what that would be. That would be $640,000. So you have $641,478 if you took $566 and invested it every month for 30 years into the stock market at 8%. So this begs the question, what if I used that $566 for the first 15 years, paid off my mortgage, and then took the full $1,963 or $1,963 and invested it in the market for 15 years? Then what would my balance be? Well, let's take a look. So if you invested for 15 years, your full balance after you paid off your mortgage is paid off. Remember, you still have to pay the taxes and insurance though. So we're only going to take the principal and interest payment and we're going to invest that now into the market, earning 8% for the next 15 years because we're looking at a 30-year comparison. We want to compare 30 years to 30 years. So in 30 years, in the first 15, you've got your house paid for. You took all of that $1,900 and you put it towards your loan balance and you got your home paid off in 15 years. Now you're taking the principal interest and you're paying into and you're investing it in the market to see what kind of return you'll get for the next 15 years to complete that 30-year comparison. So 1963 into the market, and let's calculate that. $604,000. All right, so let's bring up my calculator again and see what that does for us. So in the first example, we had $641,000, 478, pardon me, and minus this new balance of 118, that means that we gained, in the first example, we had $37,000 more dollars after 30 years than by paying off the house in 15 years and taking the difference and paying into the market or investing into the market for the second 15 years. Now you might say, well, Paris, I didn't have to pay the $147,000 of interest. Even paying the $147,000 of interest, you still end up with a higher balance investing the money in the market because it's not timing the market, it's time in the market. And if your $500 has 30 years to grow versus $1,900 having only 15 years to grow, that's the difference. You're actually ahead financially by taking the difference between that 30-year mortgage payment and the 15-year mortgage payment, and instead of putting it towards principal and interest, you put it into the market and earn an average rate of return. And this example, we used 8%, which is very realistic, especially if you're invested in the S&P 500 or if you keep your money invested in indexes. I'm telling you that to you and me, $37,000 may not look like a lot, but when you're a senior citizen and you've got only so much money every month, an extra $30,000 or $40,000 in a year or an extra $30,000 or $40,000 in your total portfolio can make a world of difference. What would you rather do? Would you rather do a 30-year fixed mortgage and then take the difference and invest it starting from the first year? Or would you rather take that payment and put it towards your principal and interest for 15 years, get the house paid for, and then the second 15 years invest it all for the following 15 years to complete that 30-year cycle? Which of the two would you choose? As for me and my house, we're gonna choose the 30-year fixed and invest the difference. I hope this video shares with you and shows you how a 30-year fixed investing the difference is more effective and more financially sound than taking a 15-year mortgage and then investing the total balance after 15 years. Once again, it's time in the market, not timing the market, that counts. If you missed my last video, you can find it here. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel up here, and go ahead and check out this video that YouTube thinks you might like. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day. I look forward to seeing you on the next one.